This House heavily disagrees with the action of decriminalization. Why? Because the overall point of decriminalization is to strip this person bare of all their criminal records so they can go about undetected. But wouldn't that affect society as a whole, having these people run around free, potentially affecting other people to be involved in very bad habits? One of the statements that you mentioned is that the government is oppressing these people by imprisoning them and isolating them without actually finding the root cause of it, and that the government should allocate their budget to build institutions or rehab centers. But I think they, as the PRO team, fail to realize and remember that the government can't just focus on one singular problem. These team of people control the whole entire country with thousands and thousands of problems that they face every single day, which means that these people have to be cost effective. They need to allocate their budget to things that are urgent, things that are affecting the country as a whole, that affects the majority of the people, not just one specific group of people with one specific problem. So it is quite ironic for somebody to be saying that they value society, where they only focus on one part of society as a whole. And also, in terms of budget-wise, I said that they have to be effective with their budget. So it is kind of clear why the government would want to build prisons better than rehab centers. Because prisons are, quote, more cost effective. I mean, if you think of it, the whole point of a prison is to detain and arrest these people. Put them in one place so they do not affect other people. They do not affect more and more people to be involved in this act. And in prisons, they only need to give accommodations that are necessary, like food, water, and a place to sleep. And guards for security, of course. Instead, in rehab centers, there is a lot more budget allocating that has to be integrated into this specific project. Rehab centers aren't just built. There's people who work there, who need to obtain degrees, who need to be educated a certain way to be able to understand these people's feelings, how they need to act. Because again, every people is different, which means you need to hire more and more of these people, which means more and more of the budget being cut to one specific thing, which is not effective. And another point that is very interesting to me that you said is that you wanted the law to be more effective. But isn't the law already effective itself? The whole point of the law is not just to provide people with what they need or what they need to do, but it's also to protect society, to prevent bad things from happening. So maybe from the PRO team's point of view, what they mean by effective law is to bring these kind of people lesser punishments, where they are not treated the same as normal criminals. But I think it is wrong, because again, they only focus on one specific case. Instead, the government's point of view of protecting their people is to prevent these things from happening. So if you are logically speaking, these people know where they buy drugs. If there's drugs, there's a dealer, there's a place to get them. By capturing these people, the government get clues on where to stop this chain from happening and happening and happening again. Which is funny and kind of ironic, because you also mentioned that one of the reasons why these people re-offend is because they're continuously exposed to the same kind of people, and how prisons basically condone that act where they meet the same people who are involved in very high criminal activities. But that also happens in rehab centers. I mean, if you think of it, it's quite similar. People who are in rehab centers are the same kind of people. And if you're gonna say, but in there, they're supposed to get better, but that does not close the fact that they will not discuss about this. Again, it's a very private thing. People sometimes do not know what's going on in their mind. That's why they try to focus on something that is more objective, more something that's easier to control, which is to find where these people are at, where these people get drugs, how do they get involved, and capture them in one place to, in hopes, stop the chain from happening again. Another thing that I think is quite funny, other than the budgeting and also the effective law, is that the government's main mission is to offer security to everybody. Focusing on one specific person is not effective. The government will always favor the majority and how to serve their people, protect them from being exposed to this thing. Therefore, they will always find the root cause that is more objective, something that they can count by data and stop the chain. Thank you.